because he used to go to my mom's gym and work out with his wife, and that's his mother-in-law that my mom is friends with. So he used to go to that gym, and that motherfucker was putting it up. You know what I mean? Because he was waiting on. I want to say he got either amnestied or cut
by the Wizards, right?
Yeah, and he was pretty much done with the NBA because he said it's a bunch of bullshit and politics. And he also was like, the Wizards is a trash organization. Like, yo, nothing's happening here. You know what I mean? So he was just like, I don't want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I always liked his game too. Sixers, one of them players that we never tried to develop. I'm like, he was a big man that could shoot the three and put the ball on the floor early on. And they were like, nope. We're going to get Rodney Carney and Maurice Bates. And, well, we're riding the Sam Dellenbear train all the way off to the edge of the tracks. And we gave Sam Dellenbear that monster contract, man.
And now everybody wants a big guy that could stretch the floor.
All right. So, before we get started, I was thinking this morning, Kenneth Faried should still be in the NBA. I'm looking at a team like the Suns or a team like, or if you want to like defend one of those squads, Kenneth Faried was the perfect kind of player. There's a lot of missed shots and there's a lot more possessions, and he's the kind of scrappy kind of dude that you need, and he was athletic. He left the league still in his prime of who he was. I'm a little disappointed that Kenneth Faried didn't get to hang around because I still think there's a place for players like him in the NBA. He was one of the guys I really liked, man. And he's from Jersey.
Yeah, it's my cousin.
Oh, he is? I didn't know that, man. Yeah. I didn't know that. He still got dreads? Because I know you don't got him no more.
He still got dreads.
Oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Kenneth Faried was doing his thing, man. I say if he's coming off the bench for the Warriors, he's a big time factor. Because the cleanup, the dirty work, you're gonna tell me that he can't do what Kevon Looney does?
I really hate Kevon.
Yo, he's one of those players where I'm like, he's got to be replaceable. He must be negotiating like a low number just to hang in the league.
Kevon Looney looks like he'd make his animal crackers fight each other before he eat them.
Yo, he is a strange looking cat, and he just runs strange too, man.
Yeah, he look like he bite people.
Yeah, man. Hold on, real quick. Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 17. It's your boy Chris. I'm here with my man Super Dave.
Yo.
How you feeling, Super Dave?
I'm living, man.
NBA Finals is 2-1, man.
Yeah.
All right. So you picked the Bucks in 7, right?
Yeah.
I picked the Bucks in 7. Are you feeling better now that the Bucks blew the Suns out? Game 3?
I'm feeling a little better, but it's always the same old story with NBA teams.
Yeah.
The first 2 games of the Phoenix, the Bucks role players did not show up.
Right.
Phoenix role players showed up.
Yeah.
Game 3 in Milwaukee, Phoenix role players didn't show up. The others from Milwaukee showed up. So that's always the case. Like, can your others travel?
And here's the thing. So I've been hard on DeAndre Ayton. You know this. Everybody knows this. And one of the issues I have is he was in foul trouble yet again. And it's the lack of mobility and the lack of like defensive quickness. And that was the knock on him coming out of college. And he gets away with it because his team is so potent at scoring and things like that. Much of what they do, their offense is their best defense. Because Chris Paul's undersized, Devin Booker's undersized as far as, length and build. A physical game doesn't work for him, in my opinion.
Right.
Their real defense comes from Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder. Everybody else is a finesse style player. Those are your 2 stoppers that you're really relying on night in, night out. And the rest of the guys, you're relying on them scoring. I just don't see DeAndre Ayton being in that top 10 bigs in the league. I think he's average. And then he gets into foul trouble. He's susceptible to bad fouls because his mobility, his athleticism.
What's going to kill Phoenix is DeAndre Ayton is guarding Giannis.
Yeah.
And they're willing to like play him one-on-one. So that's going to get Ayton in foul trouble like we saw in game 3. And then it might people might come throw some questions out or comment on on what I'm about to say is Phoenix is going to miss Dario Saric.
Really, Dario does a lot
because when Ayton gets in foul trouble, Dario comes in. Now that Dario's out, you're putting Jay Crowder on Giannis.
Mm-hmm. I had to sound check.
So, like you're putting Jay Crowder, who was what, let's say 6'7", 6'8" on a good day, on Giannis. It's not gonna work. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I just think, Booker could score, CP3 does his thing or whatever. I just think with Sarge going out for the rest of the series, that might hurt Phoenix.
My problem with the Suns, and people always say, "Oh, you're doubting the Suns." It's never been their ability to score. We know they can get buckets. I'll never say Devin Booker's not a scorer. I don't think he's an elite scorer, though. Mm-hmm. This is not something that happens every night. We're not looking at a Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Steph Curry level scorer. We're looking at Chris Middleton-ish type of scoring output. You know what I mean? That level. My problem is physicality and on the defensive end. And if you're going to compare this guy to Kobe, and I'm harping on that because that was the most ridiculous thing. Kobe got dirty. When the game got gritty, Kobe got gritty. Mm-hmm. When the game was bumping Chuck, Kobe was bumping Chuck. He was just playing through that, and he was locking up on defense. I don't see Devin Booker being able to do that. I wish people would post him up more.
I think the Kobe comparisons I don't think their game is similar.
Yeah.
I don't. I think people say they're going to compare him to Kobe because one, he worked out with him. I mean, just like Tatum, whatever. But the way Booker shoots the midi, Kobe shot the mid. He perfected the mid-range game like Mike.
Yeah.
So Booker shoots a lot of mid-range jump shots, not too many threes anymore. So people are gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna compare him to Kobe," but we gotta. Live with that because everybody compared everybody to Michael Jordan when they were coming in. So now, Tatum the new Kobe, Booker the new Kobe. So we got to deal with somebody being the new Kobe, just like we're gonna deal with people being the next LeBron.
Oh my God.
Or the next Shaq or the next this person.
So we're talking about this series. I was talking with Walt after the game. He said some things too we're going to get into, right? Because he really got under my skin right before I left. And I want to invite Walt up here next week. We got to get Walt in here. I was telling him, I think the pressure's on Phoenix to protect their home court. I think both of these teams are going into this knowing it's going to be a long series.
Yeah.
And that the home court was going to be their strength. But I feel like the 3 days off between game 2 and 3 gave the Bucks that reset that they needed because they can rest, they get a practice in, and they get an extra day to really scout what Phoenix does. And I don't think I think that's a very important extra day of rest in the finals because I go back to the Jordan the last 2 finals. Those were those were the closest series Jordan had. Those 6 games. And I would say Utah always responded off that extra day's rest, but then Chicago would then come back and respond. It's a chess match in a 7-game series because you can't go out there and do the same things for 7 games.
No,
you got to throw different looks. And I don't think in those first 2 games you saw the Bucks final look. And you also didn't see a fully rested Bucks team. But I think a fully rested Milwaukee Bucks team and the accumulation of physicality is just a little too much for Phoenix.
Yeah. Milwaukee, they just have to they gotta muck up the game.
They do.
I mean, because they got the players to do it. Bobby Portis, he could get down and dirty.
He definitely can.
We all know PJ Tucker could do it.
Yep.
It's only 2 people on Phoenix that can do it, and that's CP3 to some extent because he's older, and Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody else on Phoenix team is finesse players.
And that's my thing. It's like I like how Cameron Payne is playing, but I don't think he plays like this in any other situation in the NBA.
No.
This is lightning in a bottle for Cameron Payne.
Yeah.
I hope he gets paid, but I hope no one signs him with the hopes that this goes forward like he's the next Jordan Clarkson. Because he's not. He's not. You put him out there and ask him to defend one-on-one without the kind of help that he's going to get and the kind of matchups that he'll normally see on other rosters. He's not going to get that. You know, he pretty much gets to come off the bench and just play free.
Yeah, freelance.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. I just think that they expected a long series. That's what we're seeing. By this time next week, it'll be over. And I honestly think it's the Bucks in 7. I think the Bucks steal Game 5 in Phoenix. And it's sad because I want Chris Paul to get one, but I just don't think this is the year.
Yeah, I want him. I want him to get one too. Like I was saying a couple weeks ago, if he don't get this one, I don't see him ever winning unless he does the Gary Payton and goes to somebody's team and then just ride along.
Well, because I don't like, even if this Phoenix team returns next year, other teams are improving.
Yes.
Other teams are getting better.
Yes,
the Nuggets
and
are
healthy.
Jamal Murray back. Damian Lillard's going somewhere at this point. If he goes, I just saw a Warriors are prepping a package, which is we're going to talk about that package in a minute. That was disgusting. But I'm like, if he ends up in Golden State, it's over for Phoenix. All one team has to do is improve. All the Lakers really have to do is be healthy, and I think they're better than Phoenix because their best 2 players are better than Phoenix's best 3 players.
Yeah, Jamal Murray comes back. Denver's better than Phoenix.
Exactly, yeah. And then Utah, I think, turns out better than Phoenix if they just return what they have. But I have a feeling they'll make some moves.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Clippers with Kawhi and PG are fully healthy. If Kawhi if he returns, they're better. Mm-hmm. I think this is the one chance, and I just don't see it happening because I think Giannis right now, for all the stuff people want to give him, he's probably the most consistently dominant player in the NBA. I don't know anyone who still plays that hard at both ends, and that's a superstar.
Westbrook.
That's a superstar. Westbrook is no longer a superstar.
He's a star.
He's a star player. Yes. Westbrook is a famous guy. He'll probably go to the Hall of Fame for all the numbers. But Giannis is a winner, and he is the reason why they win. You take Giannis off that team and make Brook Lopez the de facto center, they don't make the playoffs. Giannis is the most valuable player in this series.
They'll make the playoffs in the East. If you leave that same exact team and you just take Giannis off, they'll make the playoffs.
Okay, but they're out in the first round.
Yeah.
4-0. That's it. They're getting swept.
But I say that because just them, I don't see, we got to see how they do it for a whole season.
Yeah.
But in spurts, when Giannis was out in these playoffs, Brook went back to New Jersey Nets. Brook,
he
going down
did.
to the post and he's scoring, and then that allows Drew to be more aggressive.
But that's one of the things that frustrate me about them. Why does their game plan change? Like that. I don't think Giannis and Brook should play at the same time. I've always said this. If you put Giannis, there's him and Ben Simmons are 2 peas in the same pie. Except Giannis is willing to shoot the 3 and miss as many as it takes to start making one.
Not even just the 3. He's willing to shoot a jump shot.
Yeah, he's willing to do anything. But if you put them on the court around 5 guys, they know how to pass well enough and free up shooters. Around 4 shooters, I mean. If you put them at point center and then just do that, their athleticism and their ability to score around the basket and finish and get fouled and things like that, Giannis is not scared of any of that. I think they're a much more dangerous team. I think if DiVincenzo doesn't go down, he was a big part of their rotation. I think they get the Nets out of here in 5. Because I thought they were playing the best basketball they've ever played in the Giannis era, as leading into before DiVincenzo got hurt.
A healthy DiVincenzo and a hurt Brooklyn team.
Yeah. A healthy
Okay.
DiVincenzo and a hurt Brooklyn team.
Okay. I see what you're coming
I
from.
like their roster that much. And I think the way they are, you saw PJ Tucker there. I think a veteran wants to come there. What's this? If I'm Jeff Green and I'm looking around for somewhere to go, if I want to go get a chip and contribute, why not go to Milwaukee? If I'm these guys, I think they're doing enough to get some help. Maybe if you're a backup center and you want to help out, maybe Brook leaves and you're a guy a little bit younger, you can add some more to that. I think the role players will start coming in, and the Bucks are going to be something to deal with for a while.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how they rebuild next season. Who goes, who stays. But I like what you said about DiVincenzo because he's a guy that he can get his own shot.
Yeah.
He's nice. And I think if he's there, what's the guy named Brent Forbes? I don't think he plays at all if DiVincenzo's there.
No, and I don't mind Brent Forbes. I think he's just a raw product, and he's probably, I don't know what his ceiling is because I don't watch him enough, so I don't know how high he can go. But I feel like he plays okay. He's not afraid to take the shot. He plays hard.
He plays hard. I'm trying to like see who I could compare him to. He shoots the ball like a poor man's Patty Mills.
Exactly. Yeah, Patty Mills, or who's the guy from Denver that really showed up in the playoffs? Campazzo. Yeah, Campazzo. He's that kind of guy. They're out there giving it their all, and they're scrappy players, and they'll stick around. I just don't know what Forbes' ceiling is, but he has a nice perimeter shot.
Yeah,
but DiVincenzo
could put the ball on the floor.
He could put the ball on the floor. He can play defense, and he can knock it down. Like he comes from championship pedigree.
Yeah,
that Villanova pedigree comes through for them.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at. So this morning I heard a conversation on Fox Sports Radio, right? And they were basically saying fans aren't watching the finals because Giannis is not an exciting offensive player. And so they're saying that, what he does is not really special. How do you feel about like Giannis's game and how he succeeds?
Yeah, I don't like Giannis' game at all.
So it's not fun to watch.
No.
Okay.
Giannis plays like he is a faster Shaq.
Okay, and that's the exact comparison that a caller made. They said, "Oh yeah, he just runs and dunks."
Yeah, he's just a faster Shaq.
Yeah, like
he has no moves. His only moves is get into the lane, spin move, or the Euro.
Yeah.
And I'm a dunk it.
But Shaq played at an era where guys could touch you, right? Like, and people were hanging all over him. So Shaq had to build his body up to play the way he played.
Yes.
And I think this is how they did Giannis. This is why he doesn't have like the fluidness in his shooting motion, because he's muscled up to do this.
But
he's a sledgehammer.
Yeah. He had to adjust to the NBA game and bulk up.
Yeah.
But when Giannis first came into the league, when he was slim like KD, he actually had a pretty decent jump shot.
Well, I think that was before they packed on the muscle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The range of motion. I saw the same thing happen with Dwight Howard. When they say, hey, we want you to be a power player, you're going to lose that. There's no way. I tell anybody, you go in the gym and be a bodybuilder and try to shoot a basketball or do basketball things. Your crossover is going to disappear. A lot of stuff is going to leave.
Yeah, and Dwight was the same way. Like, I never saw Dwight get better. Like, he didn't have a go-to move. Like, he didn't have a jump hook over either shoulder. It was just dunk, block shot, rebound.
Yeah. But see, I think the difference is Giannis has a nice finger roll. He has a nice, extremely quick first step. I'm not going to say lightning quick, but he's so quick and his legs are so long. He's got a soft touch around the basket. This is something Shaq had. Shaq had the turnaround jump hook, and it was soft as a cotton.
Yes.
It was soft as a feather.
Yes.
Shaq had one of the softest touches around the rim you will ever see. To be 315, 330, whatever he was when he was just not working out. You know what I mean? So I know it's not pleasing for some people to watch, but if it was that easy for a 7-footer to just run and dunk, JaVale McGee would be a Hall of Famer. He'd be Wilt Chamberlain, because that's a guy who athletically, he's ridiculous. He's like Wilt.
Yeah.
JaVale McGee is a freak of nature, but he can't seem to put it together. Neither can Dwight. But you very rarely do. But you look at Embiid, right? He's the rarest case. He has more talent all around than any 7-footer to ever play the game. But that's rare. And I'm just like, I don't think people appreciate what they're seeing from Giannis enough, because he's 7 feet. He can guard guards. He can guard wing players. And he's just dominant. He's willing to go at it too. That's willpower. If I said someone played as hard as Giannis, it would have to be Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Except Giannis is more consistent, and it translates to winning because he's willing to put it all on the line. He's going to be broke down 5 years from now, but you're going to know he left it all out there on the court.
He's going to be broken down because he doesn't have a move.
Yeah. But even without a move, this is 30 points a game.
Like Westbrook, his go-to move was the run at you, pull up at the free throw line.
Yeah.
That's his go-to move. Like
Right.
he has a move. Giannis doesn't have a move.
But Giannis is also chasing guys down on defense. He's trying to put your shot in the third row.
And then that's why
stealing balls.
And that's why his body's gonna break down.
Yeah.
And then that's why I brought up Westbrook, because even though Westbrook plays 150 miles an hour, Westbrook knows, all right, I'm gonna pull up for this jump shot.
Right.
At the free throw line.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's a better jump shooter there than shooting a three. So as his career, as he get older, Westbrook know, like, I have this shot that I don't have to keep going down low and banging bodies. Giannis doesn't have no shot. So his game is, I got to keep running into this wall, and he's not gonna last.
But to me, Giannis is the era of the big man returning, just the updated version. These guys aren't like the big men of old days. These aren't Bryant Reeves and who was, name some other big men from the 90s, right?
Olden Polynice.
They're not these guys. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not these guys. These are guys that have skills, and I think Giannis has more skills than people give him credit for. And I'm not gonna say I enjoy watching every play, because there are those plays where people back all the way up and he doesn't seem to know what to do. But then the next time down the court, he's like, oh, if you're going to back up, I'm going to jump over you. You're going to have to slap me in midair because my arms are so long. I'm just going to finish around you, which is what Wilt did for decades.
Yeah.
Wilt played across 3 decades and did it.
Because I saw during the net series, Giannis was dribbling the ball on Blake Griffin at the free throw line. And then he just kept doing the same sequence of moves. And then Giannis just said, screw this, and then backed all the way up to damn near half court and then just ran straight at him.
I mean, that's but in the Bucks still won the series. See, that's the difference between him and Ben Simmons, right? Giannis is like, well, this is the circumstances. We're gonna make it do what it do. Ben was like, oh, we're not gonna make it do what it do. Tobias, save me, please. It did not work.
I don't want to talk about Ben Simmons because Jeremy is gonna get on me. So
listen, let's talk about Ben Simmons.
I'll just leave that one alone.
But I'll say, let's appreciate Giannis for what he is right now. This is the Giannis era. If he wins this chip, we're now looking at this as the Giannis era. Let's talk about Ben Simmons. They said the trade rumors opened up. So they've been saying it for weeks, but now it's official because Shams said it. So Bleacher Report has put it out there that the Sixers are shopping Simmons, and they want no less than a top player / all-star caliber player in return. What are your thoughts?
I don't think they're going to get it.
My conspiracy theory is I don't think they want to get it because Ben has, all right, if you look at the players that you could possibly get, right, right now, there's no one-for-one player that's achievable. Last summer, before Ben screwed up, you could get Dame Lillard. You know what I mean? Because that's a stressed out situation. But this summer, you're not going to get a Dame Lillard. And for us, that Ben, for all what people want to say, he's Dame Lillard to us because of what we've invested in him.
Yes.
He's worth more to the Sixers on their roster than he is just taking back. I seen De'Aaron Fox. I seen people talking about Colin Sexton. These are question marks. We don't know what these guys are going to be. We know what Simmons is right now, which is a 2-time All-Star, all-defensive team player. He still has things that he does at an elite level, and you can't just give that up because you're mad at him. You can't do it.
No. I'll take a De'Aaron Fox, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like him as a player, but now you're taking a step back defensively, rebounding-wise, and somebody distributing the basketball. Because Fox, I know he's a scorer. I do believe in Embiid's ability to carry a team pretty far, but you're in the East. You got to defend Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, the Bradley Bills. In the East, the premier players are the guys he has to play. The Chris Middletons, the Giannis.
That's why you got Matisse Thybulle.
I understand, but the Nets got 3 of them guys. Thybulle goes to one, Ben goes to the other, and now you just try to draw straws or who's gonna let Kyrie do his thing. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to pick your poison with that for the next 2 years or whatever. That's why I say he has more value to us. Somebody said they definitely would take De'Aaron Fox. For what though? Fox straight up? for Ben Simmons?
I mean,
well, you can't do it because
no,
of contract.
No, it's not going to be straight up. It's going to be other pieces involved, but
yeah,
they could put a package around De'Aaron Fox and
make
it work.
And Ben's contract complicates this even further because he's the second highest paid player on our team right now, 30-something million a year, and his contract only gets bigger, and we got to match that.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that the only way we would bring back the player that the Sixers have made the statement that they're looking for is if a third team gets involved and they send the draft picks that we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what it's going to take.
I mean,
it's going to take a third team to help us out.
And that's what the NBA is all about. The NBA is all about adding a third, fourth, fifth team into a trade to make it work.
Yeah,
I just think the Sixers the Sixers aren't going to get what they're asking for.
No, and I think but I think that's the incentive for Ben Simmons to improve. You're making him comfortable. Like, look, this is how we're going to pipe it down. We're going to sell the story like we tried to trade you, but we couldn't find anything.
Mm-hmm. We're
going to give you a summer. If by Christmas or All-Star break, we don't see any improvement, you're out of here, buddy. You're going to Orlando. You and Markelle Fultz can be reunited. You're going to NBA purgatory. We can't send you to Miami because Jimmy Butler don't like you, allegedly.
Mm-mm.
Or you might end up in Houston. We'll take Christian Wood in pieces. You know what I mean? You might end up in a Houston, or you know what? Hey, maybe you and LaMelo could figure something out in Charlotte. Who knows? Even though LaMelo kind of does everything you do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Except for defensive rebounding.
Yeah.
LaMelo's the truth.
Yeah.
But I think this is just the Sixers sending notices out to everyone.
Yeah, just blowing smoke.
Blowing smoke. Like, Ben, improve. We're trying to trade you. And I think this is their alibi. Like, hey, we tried to trade him, but we're not just going to take anything. Nobody's jumping out the window and giving us Damian Lillard straight up, unless Lillard says, I want to go to Philly and I will never I'll retire before I step foot on the court again. That's the only way we're going to get a player like that.
Mm-hmm. Sixers. It's just like they gotta, like, if they do trade Ben Simmons, they just gonna have to settle.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna have to lose in this trade.
But that's a step back, in my opinion. When I think the piece to trade is Tobias Harris, you got to balance out the roster. I think the roster is too top heavy. There's no team that's successful in the NBA in the last 10 years where their best three players are front court players. Mm-mm. You can't. One of your best players has to be a guard, right? And I think Ben could be your third best player if your second best is a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody says, oh, Ben for Malcolm Brogdon. I'm not a Malcolm Brogdon guy because I don't think he impacts the game the same way the other guys you really want are. But for Tobias Harris, I'll take Malcolm Brogdon. And then I'll take a Malcolm Brogdon package for Ben Simmons. Nah, I don't trust it. And Brogdon's been hurt too. Yeah, like that's the only flag on Brogdon. But when he's on the court, he's a 21-point scorer. Yeah, and he plays defense. Yeah, he does. But shout out to Chris Walker and Jay Dash. Chris Walker said the same thing. Ben will be back in Philly. I think Philly fans, the emotion has gotten the best of all of us, and this thing has to blow over. And realistically, he does so much that fans seem to forget. We were the number one seed in the East, second best record in the NBA, or third best record behind the Jazz and the Suns. Mm-hmm. We didn't get there without Ben Simmons. You know, Embiid, I think, was the catalyst, the main reason. Mm-hmm. Because when he went out, that's when we got a lot of our losses, right? When he was hurt, it's for them small stretches in the season. But he is the catalyst from a lot of our wins. There's not a lot of people picking pockets and then going down the other way and throwing it down and grabbing boards. You're right. And they're not Westbrook boards. Like, nobody's boxing out, letting him grab it, and then he's taking it the other way. These are real rebounds. I think Ben isn't going anywhere. Yeah. But if they do wind up, if the rumors are true, I think I would be shocked if they get equal value. No, you're going to have to lose. Yeah. You're going to have to lose, and you're going to have to retool the team. That means you probably drop back 2 or 3 slots in the East, and you're now where Boston is. Or you're now just ahead of, you're now where Atlanta is. Because the roster, if it stays still, they're better than Atlanta. And Atlanta, I think they're going to be good, but I don't think they're on the Sixers level. We know this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just think Philly fans got to realize now, because he did what he did, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
And you may not like it. I heard Buddy Hield and all this stuff. I got to take a collection of players.
See, that could that also could be involved in a package. Like if they do Simmons for De'Aaron Fox, like
Yeah.
you can say, all right, we'll throw Buddy Hield in.
Yeah.
And I mean to sweeten the pot.
Yeah. Yeah. So that report came out today. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens there. Let's talk about, first of all, Team USA basketball.
They winning today.
Who they playing today?
They're playing Argentina.
What channel are they on?
It might be like the Olympic channel or some shit.
Oh, the Olympic channel. I have the sports package.
Sometimes they be having it. Yeah,
Well,
they are. Yeah, it's like NBC, but it's like that game probably over right now.
Yeah. So I sent you today the report from Chris Haynes that the USA players were complaining about calls. They wanted star calls in the game, and they lost 2 straight.
Yeah, they won.
Oh, they won. They pulled away from Argentina in the second half. They're lucky Nocioni wasn't there. You know, Nocioni was the heart and soul of Argentina.
And Luis Scola.
Luis Scola, yes. Yo, he's one of the dirtiest players in history, man. Him and what's my man name? Bum Sauce from I hated him for how he injured Kawhi. He was on the Warriors.
Oh, Zaza.
Oh man,
No, he wasn't from Argentina.
No, he's not. But they're the dirtiest players I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in modern times. But the USA lost 2. How did you feel about those 2 losses before today's win against Argentina? Do you think this is a bad collection of players? What do you like? What are the problems you see with this USA team?
My issue is I don't think Draymond Green should be in the closing lineup.
I don't think Draymond Green should be on the team.
But we also have to realize like they're missing 3 players that's playing in the NBA Finals right now.
Yeah.
They're missing
Chris Paul.
No,
well, Chris Paul was a great Olympic player.
No. This year it's only Devin Booker's on the team.
Oh, Devin Booker was selected. Okay.
Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
So with Drew Holiday and Middleton, you're getting some scoring, but the most important part, you're getting some defense.
Yeah.
And then with Devin Booker, that's just another scorer. Like you really don't need more scoring.
No.
With KD and Dame, but he's just another person that could put the ball in the hole. But they're missing defense. I think once they get fully healthy, I don't think Draymond should be on the closing lineup.
I want people to know the Olympics is probably why Carmelo Anthony's going to the Hall of Fame, because he played his best basketball of his entire life in the Olympics.
And Syracuse.
Yeah. Well, but I think the Olympics really showed
Yeah.
he can play high level basketball. And I was one of those people, I was killing Melo for years, but that was for a totally different reason. But I want people to know, and on the dream team that Michael Jordan was on, that was Barkley's team. On the teams that the what did they call that? The Redeem team with Kobe and everybody. That was Carmelo's team.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Allen Iverson play the best team ball in the FIBAs, because these guys were able to change their games and pivot what they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, LeBron wasn't even really impressive against the foreign competition when he was on that team in 2008 in Beijing.
Mm-hmm.
It was really Carmelo and Chris Paul and those guys
and Dwayne Wade
doing a lot of the work. LeBron was just overkill at that point.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even need LeBron, but certain players shine better in that FIBA game that takes a certain amount of polish. Shout out to Chris. Let's see. He says, we're too small. They don't know Euroball. We're too pretty, and the team we have is soft.
Mm-hmm.
You would agree?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that I read about the complaining, I didn't watch either of the games because I don't care about exhibitions.
I didn't see none of the Nigeria game.
Yeah.
And I saw bits and pieces of the game when they played Australia. Like, when they lost to Australia, that's like, it's an upset because of Team USA versus any other country.
Yeah.
It's an upset.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an upset. Y'all are supposed to be greater than that.
But Australia is number 3 in the world.
Yeah.
Behind United States and I think Spain.
No, they put out a lot of NBA players.
Right. So I wasn't like shocked, like, oh, like with Nigeria, I was like, oh wow. But against Australia, I was like, like they got NBA players. Like Nigeria got NBA players that don't really get in the game.
Yeah.
Like Australia got NBA players that start.
Yeah, guys that got real playing time and really put in work.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but
I
there's still no way they should
lose.
lose.
Still, it's no way they should lose. But as far as like the officiator, like I told you in the text, FIBA officials, they call the game like how it was called in the 90s.
Yeah, you're getting forearmed.
Yes, they let you let you play. They let you body bump, they let stuff go. So what we dealing with now with this NBA, like everybody's too soft and too pretty.
And everybody wants to do fadeaway jumpers.
Yes.
Everybody wants to break you down off the dribble, all that isolation.
Yes. And they want to do a pump fake and then throw their body into you. You're not going to get that in with the FIBA officials.
So here's my conspiracy theory. I think Popovich is letting them play out their bad habits and showing them like, hey, see the way you're playing? It's not working. Because Popovich is like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of coach like, look, I'm 50 years older than all of y'all. I know what you're doing is not going to work, but I have to let the car crash for you to understand where the problems are. Now we're going to go back and fix them because now the spotlight is on and you've been embarrassed. And I was talking with my dad today, and it reminded me of when they brought the college select team again against the Dream Team. And even though the Dream Team, it took them a while to get started and they were being lazy, they cut the clock off before the Dream Team would come back and say, nope, y'all don't deserve to win. And they had to motivate them the next day to come back and destroy these college kids and let them know how serious it is. Like, if these college kids can beat you, there's guys around this world that can really play and you don't want to be embarrassed. And they never took that lightly. I want to see how these younger players respond to this next generation, because I'm interested to see how Jason Tatum plays. I want to see him. I think he's a fantastic talent that has that elite all NBA potential, like that dominant potential. I want to see it in that international competition.
And I think another thing that's killing them, even though it's exhibition, Draymond is the best ball distributor on the team.
That's upsetting. I don't think they have enough pure point guards.
No.
Yeah.
Now just look at the Dream Team. They had Magic and Stockton.
Yeah.
And then you go with LeBron. LeBron was a facilitator. Chris Paul was a facilitator. Jason Kidd, Darren Williams.
Yeah.
Like, they had guys on the team that can get other people involved. This team, they just got a bunch of scorers in Draymond and Kevin Love.
And I like Kevin Love. I think he's the kind of player that flourishes in the Olympics.
Yeah, he's the perfect big man for the Olympics.
Exactly. Finesse, big man, big body that can move,
that can shoot.
And can shoot.
Yeah,
he's the perfect guy because you don't want to slug down there on a post in Olympic play.
But what's gonna kill them is like they said, we're too small.
Yeah.
Like Australia had two guys that was 6'11".
Do you feel like there's a lot of KD blame, and we're seeing it in the comments? Do you feel like the spotlight is on KD to show he can lead this team in world competition?
KD will be fine.
Yeah. I don't want to say this, but it's not KD's game. I don't think KD's game is to involve everyone and lift the entire team. He's going to lift the entire team by scoring and fouling guys out. But also, if the guys around him don't know how to move, it takes a certain level of IQ to be able to soak that up. Because you can't save just any old kind of player.
People got to relax with the KD joint because last night, even though they lost, KD and Dame were 10 for 20 on threes combined, just them two.
And the three-point line is short.
Yes, and everybody else was like 3 for 18.
Yeah.
So it wasn't KD fault that they've been losing.
Well, that speaks to what I'm saying about the IQ level of the team and what lineups they're putting out there, because you got to know how to move with a KD.
Right.
You know, because you could still apply a lot of the same principles that you do. But like I said, NBA has become AAU, open run, open gym, high pick and roll basketball.
That is what it is.
You need half court sets in FIBA.
Yes.
Yeah, you need half court sets.
Yes.
And can these guys actually run those? Because every Olympic team that's been successful has had a pure point guard that's a floor general.
Yes. See, I don't know. I haven't watched a game yet to see who the starting lineup is, but my starting lineup would be, as of right now, it would be Bam at the 5, KD the 4, Tatum the 3, Bradley Beal the 2, and Dame the point. That would be my starting 5, and then that would be the 5 that I go with to finish the game.
As much as I love Dame Lillard, he's going to struggle defending USA basketball, because those guards are turning the corner hard and they're knifing. Will these other guys step up is the question.
Right. But besides when Drew get there, who's the other point guard on the team?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
They got Zach LaVine's there, but he's not a point.
No, he's not a point guard.
Even though he came into the league as a point, but he's not a point.
Who's the big body to discourage penetration against them? Because what they're gonna do, because the other teams have shooters, is pull KD out, pull Bam out, because those big men can shoot. And Bam, as athletic as he is, he's got to go back out there. He's got to go out there and D those guys all the way to the corner.
And he's small.
Where's the big body that they can leave in the paint and say, don't come in here? Like the Dwight Howard. That's pretty much what he was in 2008.
Right.
And I think he played 2012 too.
Yeah.
But they weren't going in there on Dwight Howard.
No.
He's intimidating.
Yeah. We had Dwight Howard. And then, you know what I mean? Then there was Ewing and David Robinson. Like we always had ball distributing point guards, and we had bigs that was like, you're not coming down here.
Right.
This team doesn't.
And you had Scotty bodying up on guys. Him and Jordan were, I don't think people understand when they talked about how they took turns locking Kukoc up. These were dogs on defense.
Yo, I don't know if you said you got the sports package, right?
Yeah.
I was watching TV 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And there was like an Olympic channel, and they were playing all of the Dream Team's games back to back to back.
It was total domination. Total domination.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that year before the Dream Team, I saw the college select team. And Michael Finley was on there. I saw him in Buffalo because they had the World University Games, which was like the Olympics for college.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty dope. And they crushed Croatia or something like that.
Yeah.
Like 50-something points. It was crazy. I was like, yo, this dude Michael Finley is going to be all right. You know what I mean? My grandpa was like, yo, he's solid. You know what I'm saying? We way up in the bleachers in Buffalo somewhere at their old, where the Braves used to play or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun, man. But yeah, like if you look at that style of ball, there's not enough specialists on this team.
Mm-mm.
There's not guys that like, yo, you really are a great rebounder or you're really a great defender. We just have a lot of really talented basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people's game grow after playing in the Olympics and being coached up that way. I'm hoping I see some growth out of these guys. I want to see a resurgence of Kevin Love because I don't think he's finished in the NBA.
Mm-mm.
I want to see Jason Tatum take another step. I want to see Zach LaVine show me something.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see it. You know, so we'll you know,
and we gotta like these guys now. They gotta be willing to take a back seat.
Somebody's got to change their game.
Yes,
I understand you like to shoot, but you're playing with KD.
You're playing with Dame.
Find something else to do. You know what I'm saying? There's enough that look, if you can lean, you can clean. That's what they used to say in my jobs,
Mm-hmm.
man. There's something for you to do around here. You're on the clock, you know, and play with some pride because that's another thing too. Today's generation, I don't think they want to kill.
No.
And
everybody's too nice to each other.
And I've heard several sportscasters talk about that. They have to kill. Like, go out there and kill these guys. I'm not taking a court in an international contest and wanting to lose for my country, especially with the legacy that you're carrying on. This is the USA basketball.
Yeah, don't say Dream Team.
Yeah, I don't want to say Dream Team, but this is USA basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we played Nigeria, we beat them by what, like 83?
83 points.
How do you lose to Nigeria? That's not supposed to happen. I don't care. Yeah, they had 6 NBA players, but most people don't know who they are.
No. The biggest name they got is Jahlil Okafor.
Yeah.
And we see what he do in the league.
Come on, man. Another thing, too, it takes me there because Stephen A. Smith got in some hot water over his comments on Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
You heard the comments where he couldn't pronounce the guy's name and said, who cares? How did you react when you heard him say that? And do you think he should have apologized?
I mean, like, he's a sports figure. So, like, his face is on TV, so he has to apologize.
Yeah.
But people butcher people's names all the time.
All the time. And they don't even try.
Yeah. So it's like,
yeah, they don't even try. I
don't really fault him for like if he didn't pronounce the guy's name right. But I get it. Like when you're talking and you're telling a story and then you don't pronounce a guy's name, you're gonna say like, all right, whatever. And then just to get on with your story. But I didn't think it was too big of a deal that he didn't pronounce the guy's name right.
Yeah, I thought he was making light of it. Like, first of all, even if I pronounced it right, you're not going to know who this guy is and why did Team USA lose to him.
Right.
And I thought that was a point. And some people were like, oh, that's Stephen A's USA arrogance. I heard a bunch of other people talking about it. And part of the thing you got to realize with Stephen A is he has like 94 jobs at ESPN. He keeps the lights on. He's an entertainer. And I think he does some of this stuff too. He gets in his comedy bag.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not a comedian, all of your jokes aren't going to land.
Mm-mm.
And you're also in a hypersensitive time period where they're going to call you racist. And I just thought he was making light of it and trying to express how the USA lost to a no-name guy. You know,
yes,
we know how to pronounce his name if he was good.
Yes.
Yeah. If he was on the level of the guys we're putting out there, then I'm pretty sure we know his name.
Look at Giannis' name.
Yeah, we could pronounce Sarunas Marshalonis back in the day.
Yes.
Drazen Petrovic.
Yes.
Because they were really good.
Yes.
These guys, I don't know who they're. I only know Gabe Vincent, which they had his African name like during the Olympics, but I only know him from playing 2K. I never see him on the court. This is what I'm saying. But I think you have to apologize because you work for Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's going to get mad at you. They're going to say you're insensitive. You insulted Nigeria. No, the United States insulted themselves and they insulted all of us by making us watch that game and think they actually wanted to play.
Yes.
That was it. They embarrassed themselves. I didn't think he needed to apologize that for.
Mm-hmm.
So then fast forward, he makes the comment about Shohei Ohtani, where he says he feels like it hurts MLB that their number one player and their biggest star, their main attraction, doesn't speak fluent English and needs a translator. What did you think of that comment?
Now, that comment was a little wild.
Okay.
Because majority of the baseball players are not from America.
True.
So let's just take the Latin Americans.
Okay.
I mean, not Latin Americans, the Latin baseball players. A lot of them don't speak fluent English.
Not at all.
Like
I still never heard Vlad Guerrero speak. He was just dead nice.
It's times where when they do get an interview, when they talk, you be like, you really try to like home in on what they're saying.
Oh, Pedro Martinez was like that for years.
Yes.
And he was the best pitcher in baseball.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like I think he was a little out of bounds on that one. I'm sure with his regular team with the Angels, like Shohei has a little bit of the English language.
Yeah.
But to stick a microphone in front of him and then say speak, that's probably like
Yeah. Don't be like, oh, speak the language. You
right.
know.
Like, but I know like as when he starts to like accumulate years into the game, I think his English will get better to where he won't need the interpreter anymore.
I saw Ichiro get better at it.
Right.
And but he also wasn't the super face of baseball, but he was the international face of baseball.
Right.
You know, he was the guy who really cemented Japan in the league because he was the only one that lasted and was good for a long time.
Right.
We had the Hideo Nomo, the Hideki Matsui, there was a lot of guys that came through. You know, Kaz Sasaki, you know, who had a couple hot years as a closer, but you know, I saw Ichiro improve at it and improve his marketability overseas. I don't think Stephen A truly meant like it's hurting the game. I think he was referring to MLB in America because it's like the third sport tied with hockey as far as popularity.
Yeah.
It's football is king. We live in an American football dominated society, and it's been that way for the last 20 years because MLB had steroids and they had all that scandal and they had that strike that they never recovered from.
What's that? Which one? A 94 strike?
94 strike. Growing up, MLB was the sport. Black kids still played it. So it was still urban. It was still accessible to urban areas. But that was like the last era of kids from minority communities that grew up playing baseball at a high rate. Stephen A is saying, you know, and also now, even the majority population, their kids want to play basketball. Their kids want to be wide receivers and quarterbacks now. They don't really want to play baseball the way they used to. And the other countries are starting to supply a lot more players. You're starting to see players come from Norway and from a lot of other places because the world is starting to play more baseball. But in America, yeah, they're getting paid, but that's from like legacy endorsement deals. They're really not that popular, and they do need somebody like Mike Trout to be a personality. So, like, where's the next Ken Griffey? I think that's what he's referring to, is that in this generation, he's got to be more effective at communicating.
Yeah, he's basically saying like we need an American to be the face, white or black. We just need an American to be the face.
It wasn't about race. Yeah. I just think he was saying like to help baseball elevate and get it back to where it used to be. And I think he understands that there's still a large portion of old time baseball fans that don't really like this. And you know where I'm going with this. You already know. You know what I mean? I think he's saying that they'd rather have somebody that can speak the King's English.
Yeah.
You know, so they would feel better about accepting him as this two-way player that can pitch and go out there and hit 400-foot home runs.
I think the old timers that's still like alive.
Yeah.
And I mean, going back to like when they were younger, Babe Ruth is still their king.
Oh, yeah.
So now when Shohei comes along and they say, oh,
he's the next Babe Ruth.
He's the next Babe Ruth, they frown upon that.
I frown upon it for a different reason, though. And that's just from respecting sports history. Shohei's only been healthy for 1 year. That's this year. And we're halfway through this year. He's got to stay healthy and do this for real. You know, I want to see you mowing guys down in the dog days of summer, late in the season. I want to see this home run clip sustain.
Well, I mean, they always say when you do the home run derby, you kind of fall off in the second half.
Yeah, man, because you change your swing.
Yeah, and I think his coach was throwing him some movement in his derby last night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I heard about it. I didn't get to watch the derby, but I heard about it. But that's my thing. I think Shohei, I like what I'm saying. It's definitely very impressive. We'll see if he can keep it up. But I honestly, Stephen A. Smith had to issue the apology, and a lot of black sports writers and sports talk people were saying, well, he didn't apologize that hard to about Nigeria. And I think those were two totally different situations. One was a bad joke. The other was him trying to make a point, but probably didn't articulate it well enough.
And I think like as far as like young kids, black or white, they don't play baseball like they used to because like it gets cold here.
Yes.
So we can only really play baseball in the spring and the summer.
That's it.
Once it get cold, it goes to football, basketball.
There was some fall ball, but who wants to be out there with long johns?
Right.
That's only for the pros. Yeah. I'm not doing that.
Now, over in Japan, every stadium is pretty much indoors.
Indoors, yeah.
So they're still playing. Cuba and Venezuela and like all of Latin, like it's always warm. So they're playing baseball all year round. That's their national sport, baseball.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Besides soccer, it's baseball.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're far more advanced when they're younger and coming over. That's why so many Latin kids is getting signed at like 14, 15, 16, going straight to playing like low level pro ball. And then when they get to the majors, they're polished. To where here we have to play ball in high school. You have to go to college. Then you get drafted, and then now you got to start your journey. So
from the AAA, or if you're really good, you go to AAA and you hang out there for 5 years,
right? So
6 years.
So now you have this college kid that's about 21, 22 that's in low A ball, and now you're on the same team with a 15-year-old that's been playing pro for longer than you. So he's going to get that call before you.
That is true. And honestly, the offshore players, the guys coming from abroad, and back then they had the Cuban defectors and all that. Those guys, they're like you said, they're way more polished. They were coming in way more polished. And I think one of the big things that's hurting baseball is the health of the pitching. None of these guys can stay healthy because I think just like basketball, they're throwing their arms out, just trying to get to the majors and get that contract.
And then that's the thing with them Japanese pitchers like Shohei and Tanaka and all of them.
How many innings did you pitch before you got here?
Right. They throw and throw and throw. It's nothing new to them to go out there and have 10 complete games.
Yeah. Or 4 starts in a week.
So when they come over here, like they're equipped to throw 130 pitches.
Right.
And then sit for their 5 days. But if you need them on short rest, they ready to go.
They're ready to go. But also their careers are a lot shorter at the top. And I don't know if Shohei can do this because we haven't seen anyone sustain. First of all, we haven't seen anyone do that for real. Yeah. But I'm he already has injury history, so I'm not sure if he can.
The dude got 33 homers.
Yeah.
He leads the American League in slugging. He's 4-1 and he has a sub-3 ERA. That's crazy, bro.
That is crazy. But it also, I hope it inspires some kids.
Yeah.
You don't have to just do one thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with basketball, same thing with football. You know what? If you're a great tackler, let's see if you can catch.
Yeah.
You could be a two-way player. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You might be the first, but don't let anyone tell you have to do this one thing. Try to develop more than one skill.
Like Deion was a two-way player in the NFL.
Exactly, man. Exactly. With the Stephen A situation, he's always going to do this. He's a habitual line stepper, like Bernie Mac said.
Yeah.
He's always going to play it close to the line.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the guy that drives ratings on ESPN, so they let him get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
No one else gets away with anything else at ESPN.
Mm-mm.
See, Rachel Nichols, they about to put her in witness protection. Rob Parker got fired for calling RG3 the corny brother to people in the barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
They got him out of there. Like, they get people out of there for a lot less. But Stephen A is the flagship. He is, Dan Patrick of 20 years ago. He's Chris Berman.
Mm-hmm.
This is his network.
Yeah.
The S is for Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said it. He said, look, I wake up every day thinking of how I can get my company more money so I can get a piece of that money. He's getting y'all watching. He's got every other network talking about ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, for good or bad, it's publicity, man. No publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this topic right here, top 10 quarterbacks projected by ESPN going into the season, man.
Let me pull it up because you sent it to me.
Yeah.
I was looking at the joint.
ESPN released their list. They're projecting who the top 10 quarterbacks are going to be this season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of discussion going around this. All right. Let's see here. Number 10, Kyler Murray. Number 9, Justin Herbert. Number 8, Lamar Jackson. Number 7, Dak Prescott. Number 6, Deshaun Watson. Number 5, Josh Allen. Number 4, Tom Brady. Number 3, Russell Wilson. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. And then number 1, Patty Mahomes. Do you have a problem with anything on that list?
Yeah, I think Russell's too high.
So Russ is too high.
Mm-hmm.
So Russ is ahead of Tom Brady and Josh Allen immediately. You think he should fall back behind those two?
Yep.
Okay. Deshaun Watson at number 6. You think? I don't think Russ. I don't know. Maybe him and Deshaun Watson are on the same level. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Russ is a more efficient quarterback than Deshaun Watson. But Deshaun Watson is the big play guy.
Yeah.
Especially when he has a big play receiver. But Houston doesn't keep those. They trade them away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they give him slot receivers. He'll have 4 slot receivers this year if he ends up even playing. I don't even know why they put him on the list because we don't even know if he's going to play.
Right.
But I haven't seen any new news or movement.
No, yeah, I haven't heard anything about
Tyrod Taylor, just hold up. You may not be starting, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Dak Prescott's coming off an injury. They're assuming he's fully healthy. I love Dak Prescott. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it's fair coming off the ankle injury that he had to be put in the top 10?
I think they put him in the top 10 because they're just saying, like, look what kind of season they had without him.
Okay. I can see that. They're missing Prescott and things fell apart.
But I wouldn't have put him at 7. I probably would have put him at 10.
At 10? I think Lamar Jackson at number 8 is a little disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little bit disrespectful. I understand he has his shortcomings, but number 8 is crazy because his impact on the game. He's carrying that team.
Yeah,
and that offense.
Yeah, I definitely would put him ahead of Deshaun Watson.
I would too, because Lamar Jackson on your team is equaling more wins than just solely having Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson on the Texans, it's just a very bad situation.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson doesn't really have a whole lot to work with, and their philosophy is flawed, yet and still he continues to win a lot of football games on the strength of who he is and his talent. I don't like Justin Herbert being in here. And I like Justin Herbert as a quarterback. But why are you in the top 10? We don't know anything about you, sir.
He's gonna be great. I'm a believer.
I'm a believer too, but you can't be put in the top 10 until you actually do it. I mean, he was playing well last year. Don't get me wrong, for a rookie.
Name other quarterbacks.
Joe Burrow, before he got hurt, was balling. I saw it.
Him.
I was there.
I was there with Justin Herbert. Outgunned him.
Look. I like Justin Herbert, but top 10?
I'm just saying, name the rest of the quarterbacks.
It's hard because there's not a lot of good quarterbacks.
You gonna put Daniel Jones over him?
No.
You're gonna put Jared Goff over him?
Absolutely not. Jared Goff might be number 32.
You're gonna put Fitzmagic or Tua ahead of him?
No, and no.
Carr?
Maybe around that same area.
Jalen Hurts?
Absolutely not. Jalen Hurts is going 2-15 this year.
So, like,
Eagles fans, 2-15.
So it's like you have to look at the rest of
the rest of their landscape. Yeah. But I just think we need a full couple of years before I start saying you're in the top 10.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But as far as like what we have now, like the rest, besides the top 10 that we have, the rest of the group is like, all right, I have to put Justin Herbert in here because look what I'm dealing with.
Yeah. Because I did say there's not a lot of good court. Baker Mayfield?
I need to see him do it again.
Okay, well, if you need to see Baker Mayfield do it again, you can't have Justin Herbert in the top 10.
Justin Herbert did it. He had a okay season.
Yeah.
With far less talent than what Baker had.
Baker did do it without Odell. I thought the team got better without their highest paid receiver.
He did, but then all right, you take Odell away from Cleveland, and then you put Cleveland's weapons against the Chargers' weapons. Cleveland still has the better weapons. You got two top tier running backs.
No. Cleveland has Eckler, fantastic running back. They have three top receivers: Keenan Allen. They have what's their names?
Mike Williams,
and they got another guy. And they had Hunter Henry at tight end.
Okay, then you have
look. Chargers have some weapons.
You have Kareem Hunt. You have Nick Chubb. You have David Njoku. You got Austin Hooper.
Njoku was hurt.
Njoku was he missed a few games.
Yeah.
You got Austin Hooper, which is no drop off at tight end.
No. Austin Hooper's
Jarvis Landry,
possession receiver dynamo. Yes.
You got what's the kid name? Rashard Higgins, who was
coming up.
Who was Baker's target before Jarvis and him got there.
Yeah.
So the weapons was still there for Cleveland. I think if you would have traded them, and Justin Herbert probably would have had the same season.
I think people hate on Baker Mayfield. Okay, the fact that he's played solid for 2 years, he should be on this list in the top 10 before Justin Herbert. Put Justin Herbert honorable mention, like number 12 with a bullet. Like, watch out for this kid. I will respect that more than just throwing him in the top 10 quarterbacks in NFL off of a season where he doesn't start unless Tyrod Taylor, didn't get stabbed. Yeah, didn't get stabbed by his trainer in the lungs with a needle. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty ridiculous. I don't know, man. I have a problem with that. Kyler Murray at number 10. You can have it. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. I think he's on the fringe, and this year he's going to have to show and prove because now it's no more growth.
Especially with the weapons they added.
Oh, they got J.J. Watt. They signed all the old, the greatest hits team. Mm-hmm. He has that team around him full of all the players that are near the end. Because I think DeAndre Hopkins, I think he's about a half a step. He's might have lost a step or two, maybe like a half a step. I don't think he's the same guy anymore. And it's going to take Kyler Murray to really break that offense open.
But they added AJ Green, so that'll take some pressure off of Hopkins.
I like AJ Green, but who's gonna? Well, they do have Isabella to stretch the field, and they got the other guy. What's his face? He was the rookie a couple years ago. You know who I'm talking about. They drafted him pretty high. Yeah, he's solid though.
Yeah, he went to Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
I don't think Hopkins and AJ Green complement each other. I'm not saying they can't get open. I'm not gonna say, but one thing we know about the NFL is just because you've been really good for your career, as time goes on, these corners, they get faster and they get stronger, and you get slower coming in and out of your breaks.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Green is not the AJ Green of 2-3 years ago, I don't think, because he's also had lower leg injuries the last few seasons.
He had a pretty decent season last year.
Yeah.
But
because Joe Burrow was there.
But
finally got a quarterback.
I think, yeah. But then I think like when he got hurt, I'm doing air quotes. When he got hurt, towards the end of the season, I don't think he was like hurt. I just think like they was like, all right, our quarterback is out for the season. We're not going anywhere. So like just go home.
Yeah. Go have a seat.
Just go
take care of yourself.
Get your money and just go home. And then I mean, thanks for being in Cincinnati because we know you're leaving.
I've been sitting here trying to think of other quarterbacks to plug in this top 10, and I don't find any other I think deserve it, man.
No, they don't.
It's going to be an interesting NFL season, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I do want to see how Trevor Lawrence plays with these weapons, and I want to see Urban Meyer because I'm one of the few people that's actually a fan of Urban Meyer. Mm-hmm. I think he's a football genius. I just think like with other things around coaching and X's and O's, he has trouble with. So I want to see how he deals with pro players that are a little hard to manage.
Yeah,
because he seems to have a tough time managing behavior in college.
On this list, I think I will put Tom Brady at 2 over Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that because he's the GOAT and he's still playing GOAT football.
Yeah,
and once you win the Super Bowl, I think you're right there.
And I think Aaron Rodgers, the turmoil that Tampa Bay had before they bye week, and Tom Brady went in and got Bruce Arians to like cater to how he plays. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is made up of that kind of player to go in there and be like, all right, look, we're gonna do this.
No.
I think once it goes south, Aaron Rodgers is gonna be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. I'm thinking too on this list, Matt Stafford. I think he's gonna do well in with the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But I would put Baker and him over there till we see him actually do it with the Rams. And I love Matt Stafford. I think this is the way he should end his career with a decent team.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do it. This is gonna be the first time that he had a top tier defense
and top tier weapons.
Top tier weapons.
Yeah,
only top tier weapon he had was Calvin.
Oh my God! And they forced him into retirement.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yo, Golden Tate was really good for them, man. Golden Tate was a hell of a receiver. It's just that the rest of the team wasn't good, but they were competitive.
Golden Tate was all right. I like
yeah.
Great hands.
Underrated.
Very
underrated. Mm-hmm. Extremely underrated. And Galladay, he's all right. I got to see more, but he was all right. But they got to deal with Jared Goff now. So there's going to be a year of frustration in Detroit.
So if you got the Eagles at 2-15,
the Lions are 3-14. Matter of fact, I got to look at the schedule. They might be 2-15 too. Jared Goff is on his way out the NFL, and it's time to get exposed. Mm. He's getting exposed this year. Mm. And you know how it usually happens for quarterbacks like him? They take a blindside hit. It's going to be that sack while he's got his arm back, and somebody's just going to bow. And then the young guy's going to get called in like, yo, it's your time, buddy. Put the newspaper down, or get off your phone. Get in the game. Willie Beeman is going to have to
put the hot dog down. You got to get in.
Exactly. Hey, who are you texting? Get in the game. They put the clipboard down. Mm-hmm. That's what it's going to be. Oh man, it's going to be bad for some teams. Real quick, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he has leverage, and he's going to end up back in Green Bay.
Probably.
Because here's my thing. You're missing OTAs. You're about to miss training camp with whatever team you want to go to. You can't do that in football. It's not like the NBA. We can't just drop you out of a helicopter onto somebody's practice field and you figure it out. There's a whole new language, a whole new playbook, and a whole new locker room and timing routes. And there's all kind of stuff you're going to have to develop.
You just got to look and see what happened last year when Tom Brady went to Tampa. There was because of COVID, there was no training camp. There was no nothing. Everything was Zoom. So it took him a while to like
get acclimated,
get it going. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then they just lucked up by having the last possible bye week and then went on that run.
Yeah, man. I just think Aaron Rodgers is overplaying his hand. I don't agree with him. I think he's complaining because he's always had a competitive roster that they've always given him what he needs to succeed. I've never been in Green Bay and felt sorry for Aaron Rodgers. Never looked at them like, oh man, they got to do something better for him. Yo, man, you got to get over the hump. You've been in the NFC Championship several times. We ain't seen you win one in 13 years. I'm tired of hearing you complain. This GM has done nothing but get you back to 13-3 football late in your career. At the end of your career, you can't run anymore. You can't improvise. They've given you an offense that accentuates your current skill set. You can't go run around and just make stuff happen and draw on the freehand on the chalkboard anymore. So that's my thing with Aaron Rodgers. And then where are you going to get traded? That's going to be a good situation, because anybody in a good situation is not going to give up what they got to take you. Who has what they need? And they're asking for 2 all-pro defensive players?
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, come on, man. And all those teams that might have gave one up, Chicago might have gave you Khalil Mack and somebody else, but they just drafted Justin Fields. So it's over. And I don't think Nick Foles, who's the starting quarterback there? Nick Foles, right?
Where?
In Chicago? Is it Foles?
No, it's going to be Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he makes it through training camp and starts. And I like Andy Dalton, but Justin Fields going to have to take that field. Chicago's like a Philly. They're not putting up with it. If Justin Fields even looks like...
Give me a prediction on what you think Chicago's record going to be.
6-9. Well, no. No, 7-10. I'm gonna give them because it's 17 games this year. I'm gonna give them 7-10, but I think Justin Fields is gonna ball out and show them something. They still need playmakers in Chicago. I like Allen Robinson, but he's not enough.
He hasn't signed his tender yet, neither.
That's another thing. They're gonna need, like, when you get a young quarterback like that with all the skills, you're gonna need some game-breaking players. You're gonna need guys that can do multiple things. You need to get them that Percy Harvin-ish.
I need them to have a bad season.
Why?
Because when they gave us the first round pick so they could move up to get the quarterback. So I need them to have a bad season.
7-10. I think they're going to be on the rise, though. I still think in that division. Well, look, they're going to get 2 wins against Detroit, and then I don't know if they play Philly, but that's a win for anyone that plays Philly. 2 teams are going to just overlook them or have injuries and lose to the Eagles, but. I think the Vikings have a resurgence this year because I think they found their Stephon Diggs remedy, not replacement.
Yeah.
But he's not a replacement, but he's a remedy because I think they realized Thielen can't do it, and I think Dalvin Cook he ascends to that best running back in NFL level because I think he's the best running back when he's healthy.
Yeah,
he's the truth, man.
Yeah, Cookie Monster is definitely the truth.
Yeah, man. So this was a good show, man. We did a good job.
Oh no, we gotta talk about McGregor before
my God, Conor McGregor.
We gotta talk about McGregor before
I just want people to know I've never taken more joy watching UFC. You know I'm not the UFC guy, but I was in Brooklyn watching it with my brother-in-law and the homies.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, you had an outside bar watching it.
Oh yeah, man, I loved it. We were on the sidewalk watching that man get cauliflower ear. We were watching his eardrum bleed. It was a beautiful sight, man. And I usually, in blood sports, I'm rarely satisfied with the outcome, but that right there was satisfaction guaranteed, man. Watching McGregor not snapping his leg, but watching him get pummeled and then snap his leg.
Yeah, I just don't like the people that say he only lost because of his leg snap.
They did not watch that fight.
And
they're not smart people.
He was on the verge of really, really getting beat. I was talking to B-Mac earlier, and
he knows his combat sport.
Yes, and I saw it too, but I didn't pay attention to it during the end of the first round when he had when Poirier had Conor on the ground doing the ground and pound. The ref was about to stop it.
I thought it should have been stopped
until he heard the bang for the 10 seconds.
I thought it should have been stopped regardless.
I'm guessing once he heard that it was 10 seconds left, he's like, all right, I can't end it now.
Yeah.
Because it's Conor, I want to give him a shot. So he let it go. But I think if that ground and pound session happened 3 minutes left in the round, and he's down there hitting him with fists and elbows, I think he stopped it.
From knowing wrestling and understanding grappling and ground game and things like that, when I saw that Conor's headlock was not affecting Poirier at all, I said, Poirier's still moving his neck around. A lot of guys were like, no, Conor got him. I said, he's still moving his neck and his shoulders. If somebody really has you in that, you're not moving around. Mm-mm. He was just, Conor wasn't strong enough. Mm-mm. I don't think he works hard enough anymore. I think he's so rich. He doesn't have it. And I also just don't care for his personality. I think he's a clown.
Yeah, he's not hungry anymore.
No, why would you be hungry? They said he's worth $400 million worldwide.
Yeah.
Why would you be hungry to go in there and get your face beaten?
Yeah.
I would never fight another human in my life. I would fight robots.
Yeah, I would go to boxing.
Yeah.
Where I mean, like the gloves are padded.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he's fighting Poirier. Like Poirier is hungry.
Yeah. And Poirier's angry because you're disrespecting his wife, about his family. You're coming at people's culture.
And he fleeced him on some money.
Yeah, man.
He after Poirier beat him up the last fight, Conor said something about he would donate $500K to his charity. Never did it.
That's what I'm saying, man. And people have a love for Conor McGregor. Here's my thing. Conor McGregor was very racist in the Floyd promotion fight, which is why Floyd beat his head in,
mm-hmm.
put him in the hospital. But for people that say they hate Floyd and what he stands for, I don't know. I look at people funny when they say they love Conor McGregor. I as a black man, I just can't have love for anything he does. I don't respect it. I think there's a lot of fighters that deserve the spotlight, and UFC has to figure out how to market other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Adesanya's out there. There's so many fantastic fighters that they have. There's no reason why this guy is still the face of and you're marching them out there to get beat. Now, you can't help if people want to order it and watch him, but don't make him the main card. Use him to get people to watch.
They know McGregor is gonna talk the talk and sell the fight.
That is it's garbage. And this is the problem with combat sports and the problem with boxing. And it's partly due to the fans. Because in boxing, it's the same thing. Terrence Crawford, him and Errol Spence should be fighting. There's no reason. If this was 30 years ago, they would have fought 4 times by now.
But it's different. It's different in with UFC and in boxing. Like UFC,
boxing has all kind of problems.
Yeah, UFC one man owns
it. So he calls the shot.
Yeah, like boxing is all these different promotions. So this guy might not like this guy. So it's like, all right, like I'm not doing business with you.
Yeah.
So you'll never see the big names fighting.
No. Yeah, it's mafias in boxing.
But like you said, years like when we were coming up, the top guys fought each other 4 or 5 times.
Right.
Like Pacquiao and Marquez fought 4 times. You're never gonna see that.
Never again. And
so,
Fury and Wilder just got pushed back too, by the way.
Yeah. Fury COVID.
Yeah.
So
oh God, I was gonna order that too. That was gonna be the thing this weekend, man. Now I gotta throw a regular party. You know.
Well, I mean, you get.
Yeah. But I was just happy to see Conor lose, and I want UFC to move on from the clown show. He's no longer a main event because you want people to still respect what you got going on.
Right.
I did enjoy Greg Hardy walking into a palm. He walked into a palm with knuckles. He walked right into it and went to sleep.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He had that guy staggered though. Dude closed his eyes and threw one.
Yeah,
man.
And he walked into it.
Oh my gosh, that was kind of hilarious.
And Greg Hardy was holding up his Pokeball after he caught a Pokeball.
Oh man. And it was actually an entertaining night of undercards for the undercards that I saw, and there were so many of them. But like I said, I just Conor is the worst star I've ever seen promoted in sports, in my opinion. I don't respect him as a man. I don't respect the things he says against Nurmagomedov, how he disrespected his culture and his religion and his family, his dad. I just don't. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. Habib had something to say about Conor, said he's finished and he doesn't want it anymore. It's time to move on, Dana White. Let him go box Floyd again or fight Logan Paul or Jake Paul or Chris Paul, whatever.
Cliff Paul.
Yeah, exactly. Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
I don't care. But get him out of your sport. It's a clown show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I want people to be able to trust UFC events when they order them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like, this reminds me of Anderson Silva when he let himself get knocked out. I was like, it was like, I don't know. I felt like people should have got their money back.
Yeah.
But now I'm glad we talked about that. Anything else, man, going on in the sports world?
No, man. Just getting ready for the Super League playoffs Sunday.
Yeah, playoff Sunday in the men's league, man. So
Yeah.
for y'all to know, Dave runs the Super League in South Jersey.
Yeah,
We're
man.
in the playoffs. Team intensity. We're the 3rd seed. We just beat Dave's team on the slipperiest basketball court in history. I thought you tore your ACL. I was worried, man. All you did was step toward the baseline to take the ball out.
No,
you had just made the shot.
Yeah.
And then you were turning and running back the other way. There was one play I stole the pass, and then I tried to turn, and my teammates calling. Dre is calling me like, yo. And my feet slipped. I couldn't even get the pass off. I was like, if I attempt this pass, I'm going to do a full split.
Yeah.
And my season's over.
Yeah, I thought I tore knee, groin, hamstring, everything.
That was bad, man. It was bad. Our team wasn't falling, though. It was only your team. That was crazy. But I was taking choppy steps. I was bodying up. I was like, look, I'm fouling today. You know what I mean? We're going to go body to body today.
That joke was crazy. But
I mean,
crazy. for the like the slippery conditions, it was a nice game.
Well,
it was a good
I
game.
think you saw 2 talented teams play each other. Guys that know how to play the game. It didn't affect the game as much as people thought. It was still entertaining, and people watched. It was a good game. It was definitely a good game. It was a chess match, though.
Yeah.
We made some conscious decisions, to put me in. Look, I'll soak up fouls, baby.
Yeah, you was a sacrificial lamb.
That was it, baby. Matt Geiger. I had 3 points and 5 fouls, man. And my 3 points came against somebody, but we ain't gonna talk about it, man. It was the first 3 points of the game. This is the Pick and Roll podcast. I'm your boy Chris Super. Follow us, Indio Media Group, on YouTube. This is where we're broadcasting now because they don't give us problems and there's no technical difficulties really here, and the resolution is better. And but we're still gonna post it on Facebook tonight on the Facebook page. So follow Indio Media Group on the Facebook page. And we got a logo coming soon too, man. It's gonna happen. We got new camera coming soon, whole new setup. We tried to get another angle tonight, but my equipment failed, i.e. my other phone. So we're gonna get to it, man. And I thank y'all for supporting and tuning in. I see y'all. Keep watching, and we out, man.
Yeah, man.